Hello, what's up? How are you doing? So today I'm going to be talking about a really important topic, and it's something that can really keep so many people stuck. So do you ever find yourself sort of hiding in the shadows of your business, not showing up for your audience as you sort of know that you want to be and maybe that you should be doing, but there's just something standing in the way and you can sort of feel yourself wanting to just stay behind the scenes, not wanting to be seen so much? Do you end up kind of putting off doing Facebook Lives or videos or posts on social media, and you just don't quite know what it is that is causing you to stay small, to stay in the background? And so that's what we're going to be talking about today on today's Brilliantly You Business Show. I'm going to help you to kind of identify if maybe this is something that you're struggling with, if you have this particular issue with visibility, with being seen. And so I'm going to talk a bit about what that looks like, where it comes from, and then how you might be able to solve it with some tips that you can start right now. All right. So I hope you find this useful. Stick around with me today. It's going to be an awesome show. And in case we are meeting for the first time, firstly, welcome. Thank you so much for taking up your time to spend some time with me and learn something and hopefully get some value. My name is Jenny Stevens, and I help coach and train home business entrepreneurs how to build their business online and help you to be able to make more sales and impact in your business without the self-doubt. So I help you with that mindset through to the marketing strategy so you can attract your perfect customers and build your business around your lifestyle so you can have that freedom that you're looking for, using awesome strategies and feeling totally confident and awesome in doing so. So that's what I do. So like I say, welcome. And some people don't even realize that this is something that they're actually kind of suffering with. So this is why I wanted to talk about it today, because it's something that is there. It's common and it's standing in your way if this is something that we're going to go through. So I'm going to talk a bit about what visibility issues look like, and maybe you might identify some of those in yourself, so feel free if you want to kind of chime in with if any of these resonate with you, or if you don't feel comfortable being seen, the fact this is about visibility, that's totally fine. Just give yourself your own little check-in to be like, oh yeah, that might be me. So if you don't feel comfortable commenting in, that's totally fine. You can always give a little like or a heart or something as a reaction or something. So then it means you're not quite so putting yourself out there, because that's exactly what the problem is, right? So I kind of just thought, oh yeah, you may not want to kind of be like, yeah, I'm sort of suffering with this, but just at least kind of ask yourself some of those questions as we go through this and see what if you identify with any of it, and then hopefully this will really help you with some of the tips that I'm going to share with you as well. All right. Okay, and do feel free as you go through as well to tag anyone in this video if you want to share it. Share it with any of your friends or network you think someone else might find it useful. Feel free to share the love. And every single week I put together show notes, kind of a summary of everything that is covered in this video. So for those people that maybe can't watch the whole thing, if you're here live, or if you want to be able to come back and refer to this again and all the resources that I'm going to kind of share with you, then I put together some show notes every week with a written version as well as the full video, a resources section. So if you'd like to get those show notes, just comment in show notes and you'll receive a message from me where I can get your details, and then I can send those to you as soon as they're ready. It normally takes me a few days just to get it all together and get it published, and so then once it's ready I can share that with you. So if you'd like a copy of that so you can come back and refer back to it again, just comment in show notes and you will then I'll reach out to you. Okay, so let's dive into the content today. Okay, so like I say, it's all talking about feeling like we want to hide in the shadows, feeling like we want to show up, we want to get on social media, we want to do all these things, Facebook Lives, videos, posts, but there's something standing in the way and you kind of feel like you want to just shrivel a little bit and you want to hide in the shadows. So I'm going to be helping you today with how you can get over these visibility issues and start showing the fuck up. Okay, so I'm going to have a little bit of bluntness in here, but the end of it, this is a real thing. This isn't just a kind of like, oh, just, you know, be nice. This can be a real thing, and there are some causes from it. So that's what I'm going to help you with today. Okay, guys, if I see me looking over, it's just I've got my notes just to kind of make sure I keep on track. So it's just there for that. So if you see me looking over, I've got my little prompts just to make sure that I cover everything that I want to and keep me on track so I don't go off on a tangent. Okay, so how do we get over, so what are visibility issues? So obviously I've covered a couple of things just in the little intro of this video, and feel free to comment in if there's anything that you maybe think are what visibilities might look like when it comes to your business. So what things do you think could be a symptom, if you like, of somebody who has visibility issues? So what would you say would be some common issues for business owners who suffer with visibility issues? So feel free to kind of share your thoughts on that. So basically, like I kind of mentioned, a big part of this when it comes to business owners, you know, we want to build our business, we want to grow our audience, we want to make more sales and connect with more people and make an impact on the world with our products and services. But sometimes these visibility issues stand in the way. So like I say, this can show up in just not showing up, okay? And quite often we can tell ourselves things that are almost like a mask of what it actually is. So have you ever kind of told yourself, oh, I'm an introvert, and so that's why I don't show up online, that's why I'm not doing Facebook Lives, or I'm not putting myself out there, or oh, I'm just not meant that way. I just don't like doing those things, so I'm just not going to do them. Or maybe you kind of tell yourself, like, even if it's kind of personal things, like, oh, well, I just dress really casually because I'm comfortable. You know, I want to be comfortable during the day. So it's kind of, you can sometimes tell yourself, almost like trick your mind to being like, oh, well, I'm not going to show up because this is kind of who I am. I'm an introvert. I don't want to do videos. You know, there's all these things that can go on about it, but it's going to be not showing up. So like I say, it can kind of transpire, trying to use a different word than showing up. So I'm using showing up. It can transpire by not doing Facebook Lives, doing videos. And that can be a big fear for so many people. Who here has ever kind of felt the fear of doing a video or a Facebook Live? Just give me like a little high five emoji or something, a little raise hand emoji in the comments if you've ever felt like that. It can even just be showing up in terms of just writing a post. So it's not even, you know, obviously doing a Facebook Live is kind of the ultimate show up because you're live. You know, you can't hide behind editing a video. It is what it is. It's real, it's raw, anything can happen, you know. But that's the fun part about it, is it is real and it is raw and it is unedited. But so many people have that block of, oh my God, this is so scary. And also just know it's completely normal. When I first did my first live stream back in when it was Periscope, before Facebook Lives came out, it was Periscope, and I was shit scared. You know, I was nervous, and I'm confident doing videos, but doing something live with a completely unknown audience, it's like anyone could pop in on Periscope, I was scared, but you know, I did it, and I'll talk about some of those things that you can do. So there's actually kind of just doing the stuff, doing your marketing, doing the things to do posts, videos, Facebook Lives, emails, whatever that might look like, that are actually going to get you in front of people. And so that's probably one of the biggest things that happens and transpires. And that's what so many people get caught up in. And sometimes they tell themselves something else, when really the issue is there is some kind of actual visibility issue that's going on in your mind. And that's what we're talking about today. It can be, you know, again, you don't want to show up because you have this fear of being judged. And especially in this online space, you know, you are putting yourself out there to the public. It's not like your personal profile where you can limit that. You can say, okay, well, I only want to be Facebook friends with the people I choose. You know, when I used to be in direct sales and network marketing, we were told, make your profiles public. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I sort of chose some posts to make public, but I didn't make my whole profile public because that just wasn't me. And you know what? Part of that, you know, I definitely, you know, even from talking, I recognize I had some of these issues as well. And the reason I didn't want to make everything public, you know, because my personal profile is where I share the personal stuff as well. It's my family, it's me going away on holiday, it's pictures, it's, you know, of my nephews and stuff. And you've got to have, you know, you still got to be sensible. There are some freaks and weirdos out there. But there is also the flip side of that, where it's the fear of being judged. When kind of anybody can comment on anything, that fear of being judged, again, can be really crippling. And so that can stop people from putting yourself out there because you just don't know who's going to comment and then suddenly be, you know, be a troll. Procrastination. Who has ever procrastination? It's like, you know, it's the ultimate dirty word in a way, you know, like procrastination. Oh, it's a bitch, isn't it? You know, we can see it, we can feel it, and we're like, ugh, what is going on? I'm procrastinating, I'm washing up instead of doing my Facebook Live, or I'm, you know, deciding to rearrange the cutlery drawer because you know, rather than writing that email or following up with somebody or what, you know, whatever that is. And again, procrastination has its reason. You know, it's there because we're stopping ourselves from being visible in whatever form that looks like. So if any of these are kind of thinking, yeah, I've got those, maybe there is a deeper issue, which is fine. It's okay. A fear of speaking out in public. So again, this is kind of, especially I think when it comes to social media, we're doing Facebook Lives and videos and stuff like that. That fear of public speaking can be a fear of actually sounding stupid, sounding dumb, maybe not sounding like you know your shit, you know, and you know what you're talking about. And that's the thing. So we kind of say, oh, I'm no good at public speaking, when really it's a fear of sounding stupid, being embarrassed by something. Okay. So do any of those resonate with you at all? There could be more that I could list, but I just wanted to kind of go to the most common ones, you know. So it's not doing the posts, it's not doing the videos, it's telling yourself you're a certain way or a certain thing. So it keeps you hidden so you don't stand out. If you ever wanted to blend in and not stand out, then that's definitely a sure sign that you might be kind of having some kind of visibility block that's standing in the way. Okay, fear of being judged by being seen, procrastination, and fear of public speaking. So if any of those cards resonate with you, if you want to, you feel comfortable, you can comment to say you don't have to say which one, but you can say I can recognize I've got some of those. Or if you don't want to publicly, you know, say it out loud, that's fine. Just kind of acknowledge that yourself. Okay, just acknowledge that yourself, because it's not, this is a safe space. All right. So I want to talk a bit about, where does it come from? Where do these visibility issues come from? Like, what causes these annoying blocks, these annoying things that are stopping us from doing the very thing that we want, which is to build our business, help more people, make more money, so that we can have the freedom to do all the things that we want. We can have choices. You know, so it's a catch-22, isn't it? You know, you're saying, I want to build my business, but the things that you need to build your business are conflicting. And so you end up not doing it because you have this, like a magnet, you know, when you've got a magnet two magnets with the opposite side kind of thing, and they just want, and they're kind of fighting each other. That's what's going on in your mind. And so when you can recognize what it is and you can know where it comes from, you can then flip it around, so then things can attract. And that's where the magic happens. Trust me. I've seen it a lot in myself in the last couple of months. And it's amazing. So let's talk a little bit about where this comes from. Sorry, my phone pinging. Let me put it on silent. So where do these issues and where do these feelings and these fears and blocks come from? Well, it's likely going to be from when you were younger, when you were a child. We form most of our core beliefs by the time we're about 7 or 8, which is quite alarming in a way when you think you haven't experienced life hardly at all by the time you're 7 or 8. Yet we form so many beliefs about the world and about ourselves from those first few years. So it might be that something happened when you were younger. Maybe you were embarrassed publicly. I've heard, there's stories of things where, like when I was learning all about how the mind works and the rapid transformational therapy that I qualified in last year, so hearing some stories about teachers like bringing kids up onto a stage and like publicly humiliating them. I mean, you probably wouldn't get away with that now, but certainly in the 80s and earlier, you would, or the early 90s. So maybe you were embarrassed in public for something, and then you felt so exposed, and maybe you were kind of made to feel some kind of shame or guilt publicly. Maybe you said something publicly that you did get laughed at because maybe you got something wrong, and that's where that kind of fear of not wanting to speak up publicly in fear of sounding stupid comes from. I had that. My brother, I love him dearly. One of my middle brother, I've got 2 older brothers, and the middle brother, I love him to death, but he was a shit. He was a bit of a bully when I was growing up, and he used to always, try to embarrass me. And I had many times where, and you know how like families have your own little words and sayings, and when you're a kid, you don't know that that's just your family. And so I would quite often say these kind of silly little terms that we would have in our family. I remember one time, I was at secondary school, so I was maybe 12 or 13 maybe, and was kind of standing talking to my friend who was on the bus, in the seat behind me, and we were talking about something. And we used to say, rather than saying the word gullible, we would say jubbly, like, oh, you're so jubbly. And I didn't know, obviously at that young age, that jubbly wasn't like a real word. And so I was there on the school bus and sort of shouted out to my friend, oh, you're so jubbly. And then my brother at the back of the bus, he was probably ready to leave school at sort of 15, was laughing his head off because he was like, oh, Jenny, you're so stupid. It's not a real word. And so I felt so embarrassed. And I laughed it off, obviously. But inside, I was like, fuck's sake, and it's a horrible feeling. So my brother used to do that a lot with me. And so I think that's something that I had to work through, was that fear of kind of sounding stupid, even though I know my shit when it comes to this business, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to, building your business, and especially marketing, like I know my stuff and I know that. Yet this fear would be in the way sometimes because of all of those old feelings that you can get reminded of about feeling embarrassed, about feeling like people are going to laugh at you. So if you've had any kind of thing like that, that could be an issue that is causing you to not show up how you want to be inside of your business. Maybe you were bullied, kids are horrible, aren't they? A lot of people were bullied. And so again, you just don't want to stand out. You want to be kind of invisible so you don't get picked on. Maybe you just kind of didn't feel safe to be yourself. Maybe you didn't feel in that environment where you could really just be you and speak up and do the things that you wanted to, because maybe you were ridiculed, maybe you were put down and like you don't have a voice, things like that, feeling vulnerable, being made to feel like you have to be perfect. Have you ever been kind of, from growing up, whether it's from your parents, teachers, friends, whatever, ever kind of made to feel like you've got to be perfect? Is the expectations of you up here? And so even though it might not be that you had this embarrassment or bully or anything like that, but when you've got expectations of like you've got to be the best, you've got to be perfect, you've got to do like nothing you do is good enough, then that can cause us to be like, well, I won't even try. If I can't be perfect, it's not even worth trying. And so this one, particularly that perfectionism that so many of us suffer with, and we just feel like we don't end up getting stuff done because you're trying to make it perfect, you're never going to get it done. You have to start being okay with things not being perfect, because at the end of the day, done is better than perfect. Seriously. But so this one, the perfectionism, is a big one, because so many people have been kind of made to feel like they've got to be perfect. And even if that wasn't the intention, but that's how you as an individual is left to feel. So if any of that kind of resonates, again, just know it's totally normal. There's so many people that feel like that. All right. So now I just want to quickly give you a few tips of things to help you, because maybe you've gone, oh yeah, I can totally see some of myself in some of those things that you've just talked about, Jenny. So then you're like, okay, well, great. Now how do I solve it? So I want to give you a couple of actual actionable tips that you can do right now, and you can start doing today, right now, to start. Okay. So one big thing that you've got to kind of almost two sides of the coin. One of it is the real sort of deep rooted visibility issues. The other can come from more of the tactical side of things and having clarity. So one big tip that I'm going to give you is making sure you've got clarity on your intention. So if you're putting off doing Facebook Lives, let's just use Facebook Lives as the example, because that is a really common one. And even for me, like I say, I was confident doing videos and Facebook Lives, but I procrastinated on them. And a lot of that was to do with this clarity issue. And so as you might have noticed, this year, it's like a 180 and it feels great. And so I know from my own experience of working through this, from both sides of the coin, how impactful it can be. All right. So that's why I wanted to kind of share it with you today. So get clarity on your intention. And what I mean by that is, do you know what the intention of your Facebook Lives or your post, whatever it is that you're stopping yourself from doing to be seen? Like, what's the actual things that you're like, I really need to be doing these things to grow my business, but I'm not. Get clear. Ask yourself, what is the purpose? What's the intention behind doing those things? It's not just to be busy. It's not just a tick off the box item. Doing all of these things in your business, especially online and social media, they have an intention. So I'd recommend you start there, because that can help so much to just know, okay, I know that by doing Facebook Lives means, it's going to kind of create, it means Facebook's going to show more of your stuff to people, because Facebook Lives are the highest reach time of post for Facebook. It's a great way for you to build relationships with your audience the quickest. There's so many benefits of doing things like Facebook Lives. But it's like, okay, so when you know the benefits of it, but what does that enable you to do? So if you do Facebook Lives, yes, so it's going to help you get more engagement, be seen by more people. But the intention is because you want to be able to build relationships with people so that you can get more sales or leads. And it's then that that then's going to help you to pay off your debt, buy something new, get your pension pot growing. Like, that's the intention. All of these things fit into that bigger intention. And I did a whole show about intention a little while ago, so you can go and find that on my blog if you want to. So get clarity on your intention for how your social media efforts fit into that purpose. Okay, that's going to kind of help you with one big thing. Keep things simple and manageable for you with where you are right now, and you can always add later. So start small. So like for me, to kind of get myself back into being consistent, because I had allowed consistency to pretty much go out the window a bit when it came to doing Facebook Lives and emails. I was doing a lot of work, but it was a lot of that behind the scenes stuff. And so I had to recognize in myself, I'm not showing up and what's causing that. So I've had to go through this process myself. And now I've got this weekly show, which I do no matter what, every single week. I do my Mindset Monday video on Mondays every single week, no matter what. And I've got my little process together about how I then repurpose that, which I covered a couple of weeks ago. So that's my non-negotiable again. I started small. I don't want to go live face. I don't want to go live face. I don't want to go live 5 times a week. I could if I really wanted to, but that doesn't fit into my business strategy. So for me, doing twice a week works right now. If you just start with once a week, that's fine. You can then build up from 1 to 2 to 3 if you want to do more. So I kind of, for me, this works. I do a really good, valuable, I put a lot of content, a lot of value into these weekly shows. And so that's the purpose that I do it. Or you could do 5 like really short little lives. Doesn't really matter. Okay. So start small, keep things simple and manageable for you, and start getting into that habit. Okay. Know your content. So again, if you're newer to business, if you've got that sort of imposter syndrome, you think, oh God, do I know enough? Start with the topics that you know really well. Start there. Even if it's one topic, create lots of different ideas and tips and different things that you can talk about around that topic. Because when you know your content, it's so much easier to do and to show up. Now, I've just started reading a new book, which I'm going to mention now. Okay, so I got recommended this book by a friend of mine, and so I've literally only just started it. I've just finished chapter 2 yesterday, and it's called The Alter Ego Effect by Todd Hermann. And like I say, I've literally only read 2 chapters, but basically it's on the preface about kind of like Clark Kent, a lot of superheroes, but also a lot of sports athletes use this method where they create an alter ego to help them. Now, this isn't the fake it till you make it crap. This is about creating another version of you. So if I said to you, how would you love to be? Or if you were a 6-figure earner or a 7-figure earner, whatever your kind of big goal is, if you were a 6-figure earner, what do you think that version of you would be doing to run your business? And list off some of the behaviors and mindset and traits and stuff like that. So creating an alter ego is basically kind of stepping into a sort of slightly separated version of you, so that you can kind of act, but it's not about not being yourself, but it's about just, like I say, it's stepping into, think about performers, like I say, athletes, like a football player, they're going to get on that pitch and a lot of them might step into that persona. They might be riddled with nerves and like, oh my God, especially the newer footballers feeling a bit, like overwhelmed with the sort of stars and the skill level, and they're like, oh my god, like there's little old me. But at the end of the day, they got into the team for a reason. So a lot of athletes, or you think about, if you've ever kind of acted on stage at school plays or as an adult or sung at karaoke. I love karaoke. I love singing. And when I go onto karaoke, I kind of have to step into a bit of a persona, because part of me is really nervous about being judged, but then the other half, I freaking love singing. It's one of my passions. And so I kind of step into this, we can do this. And once I get going, I love it. And I'm like power ballad all the way, that's me. So it's not about removing yourself and faking it. It's about sort of stepping into this other version of you. So I highly recommend it. Like I say, it's called The Alter Ego Effect. So go and grab it on Amazon. It says The Power of Secret Identities to Transform Your Life. And so it might just help, it's just say it's so far, it's really good. But it's like I say, it's not this fake it till you make it, because it's not about pretending to be someone you're not. But this is kind of about, it feels a bit more authentic with kind of what I'm reading in this so far. So it's about stepping into that other version of you that is confident, that knows that they're a badass, that knows they are awesome. And that's kind of what you're going to step into for that time. So if you say, right, I'm going to do a Facebook Live for 10 minutes, for that 10 minutes, you are, you can always give yourself a little superhero name if you want, whatever works for you. So that might be useful for you. Then it's about, there is going to come a point where you just have to fucking do it. You just have to take a step. You just have to press go. You just have to hit that go live button. You just have to hit that post button. You just have to do it. With anything, any skill that you're learning, if I said to you, okay, go and play the piano, you're not going to know how to play the piano. I could teach you about the theory of piano, and I could show you about, you could do these little things. But unless you actually sit down and start playing the piano, you're not going to be able to play the piano. This is obviously an example. The same thing with doing things. If you are procrastinating and putting off and feeling and fearing showing up, if it's from skill level or if it's from confidence, or like a lot of we've talked about today, there is going to come a point where you're just going to have to start, okay? You can't get better, you can't get more confident without doing it. So you just got to trust yourself, lean into yourself. You are capable. You can do this. Yeah, the first couple might be a bit ropey and a bit rocky, and you might be a bit quivering. It doesn't matter, because you did it. Give yourself a little celebration at the end. Say, right, I'm going to do this thing, whatever it is you're putting off. What's the reward afterwards? I want you to set yourself a reward that you can do when you've finished. Whether it's, a little high five in the mirror, a little back massage for yourself, whether it's just kind of singing your favorite song, if it's a chocolate, like whatever, give yourself a little reward. Say, I did it. And just keep doing it, okay? Because when you get into that routine, like just with my Facebook Lives, it's easy now. It's so much easier, because I know what to do, when to do it. I've got my format. I've just got to choose my topic and I do my little thing. And it's amazing and it feels great. But I had to start. I had to commit to myself, to my audience. Your audience, no matter how big or small, are waiting for you. If you've got followers on your business page, they want to hear from you. And so somebody, even if it's just one person, might really need to hear from you today. You might be able to share just some perspective that you've got, and you want to share that with your audience, that might just really help someone that day. And how awesome does that feel? Knowing that, like, I love it when people comment and be like, oh, this was just what I needed to hear today. I do the same when I see a message or a post and it just sort of resonates with how I'm feeling that day. And I let that person know, because it's so awesome. Okay. And then finally, if you like, do you know what? This is deeper. Like, I want to really figure out what's going on, where this has come from, and really break through it once and for all, then my Enough to Enrollment program might just be the thing for you. Okay, so this is a 4-week rapid Enough to Enrollments program. So it's really about helping you to feel enough and to help you to then get into action and start enrolling new customers and clients into your business. Okay, so we mix together sorting out all of these visibility issues and anything else that's blocking you in your business, and then we get into action mode, and then you go off knowing exactly what to do on your merry way, feeling confident, you've cleared these blocks, and it's like you've got a free-flowing river. That's kind of what it feels like. So if you're interested to talk about what this program can do for you, or if you want to be like, yeah, this sounds awesome, sign me up, fab, you can send me a message, or you can just sign up right now if you go to jennystevenscoaching.com/enough, and then you can get all the details and you can sign up. I only have a couple of spots left for this month. I've already got a few people that have signed up to work with me. This is a one-to-one basis, so it's completely personalized to you. Okay, and so I've only got limited spots that I can do every month, and so this month is kind of running out already, and it's only the 4th. So if you're interested to grab one of those last few spots this month, then grab that now. Otherwise, we can always kind of get you signed up and set up, ready to go next month otherwise. But this is kind of what I've gone through this myself. Okay, and so I can tell you from experience, you know, from having not kind of really crippling visibility issues, but I definitely had this kind of fear of being judged, and a lot of the things that I talked about today, procrastination, not being clear on what to do. And so that mixture of dealing with it plus the clarity around actually what tactical steps and the intention behind it coming together has been what has so far, this is an awesome year, you know. And just in the last month, I've had 4 clients reach out to me wanting to work with me. I had another 2 people that are already ready to sign up for a new program that I'm going to be doing. So the results are coming in very, very quickly. So I want to kind of help you to get this same momentum as well. So if you're interested, head over to that link, or if you want to talk to me, if you want to talk through it with me, that's totally fine. Just reach out and we can chat. All right. So I hope that helps you today. Like I say, visibility can be, it's not just about feeling nervous, you know, it can go deeper than that. So I really wanted to kind of help you to either identify if maybe that might be something that you hadn't realized, and also to give you some of those kind of actionable steps that you can take away and go and put into practice right now and just get started with it. You know, you can do this. You've got support. It will grow, you know, your confidence will grow, it will get easier, but there is going to come that point where you've just got to take that little step and just hit that go button. Who is it? I can't remember what her name is now. Is it Mel Robbins, who's got like, just do a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. That's another good little thing that you can do. So yeah, so kind of, I hope that resonates with you. And I hope you found this useful. Like I say, if you want to get the show notes of today's show, where I put together a summary of everything that I've covered, any resources that I've mentioned. So I'll put in there the book link and the program and all that kind of stuff in the show notes. You can go back through it again, just comment in show notes, and then I'll send those to you as soon as they're ready. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to talk about today. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment on this post, or you can send me a private message if you want to talk more privately. That's totally cool. But I hope you found this valuable. Just pop in #value if you found this valuable. Thank you for sharing the love. Appreciate you for hanging out with me today. Have an awesome rest of your day. Do one thing today. Challenge yourself to one thing that you can do today to get yourself more visible in front of your audience, and just see how it feels. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next week, and have an amazing rest of your week. Take care. Bye.